Showtime. We're back again. This one is going to be called Core Conversations versus Surface Conversations. A lot of times in our relationships, we have conversations that's coming from the core, and somebody is coming from the surface. So we want you to enjoy this one. If you're in the car, we want you to be careful. If you're at home, we want you to relax. So we're going to jump into this one, and we want to start off understanding that we have a lot of discord and dysfunctions in our relationships. A lot of times that can stem from having two different points, two different perspectives, having too many facts in different points. But in this one, like the other video, we're going to talk about the core conversation versus a surface conversation. I want to give you an analogy. What I like to do is have universal thoughts, things that apply to many different things, because that's how I get closer to truth. When something is usually only good in one area or only good for certain things, that's like a limited thought process to me when it comes to the broad general spectrum that we have in relationships. So to try to cover as many bases as possible, we're going to try to do the core and surface relationships from a general standpoint. We want to start off with one of the universal examples I want to try is a child in the store, at the toy store. You see the bright lights, the different colors, the primary colors. You see the clown in the window. The child knows that that's the toy store. And of course, all of us wanted to go. So does our children. They want to go inside. What the child doesn't know or understand is that when they go in there and grab the toy that they want from the counter that they choose or off the shelf that they choose, that is the surface. The child doesn't understand that on the surface you have to pay for that toy. There's a deeper understanding to the purchase of that toy or the child walking out the door with that toy. So the parent is at the core. They understand that if they buy that toy, they still may have to pay the car note. They may have to pay the mortgage. They might have to take care of the rent. They might be on their way to the grocery store. They may have to go take care of some other things outside of that toy store for their family. So some other expenses they may have to pay. So that's the surface. The child is right. From where they're coming from, that makes sense to the child. And the child is dead right where they are. And so is the parent at the core. The parent is dead right at the core about the toy, but the child doesn't understand that the parent is connecting that to many more things because the parent has more experience and more knowledge. And they got to apply that knowledge to the purchase of that toy. So the adult is telling the child what they don't know. So we want to move to, say a lot of us, you're just being an employee at your job. You basically want to go to work and you want to get paid. You want to get paid the most amount of money that you can to do your job. Now that's on the surface, that's beautiful. What you need to pay attention to and come from that surface and go to the core is that the employer has to come up with a contract or gain more business so that they can continue to pay you or they can even give you a raise. So you, on the surface, you correct. You go to work, you should get paid. That's how that goes. But you have to understand a lot of decisions have to be made that's not on the surface level. It's a little deeper than just cutting you a paycheck. That money has to come from somewhere and they have to continue to make money to pay the bills so that they can pay you. So they are operating from a standpoint of having more knowledge about how the money circulation flows. While you on the surface, you are right. You dead on. But at the core, they have more information. They have more knowledge. They know something that you don't know. Having the debates that we often have in our families, with our friends, with our spouses, we have a surface and a core. You have to know if you're having a surface or a core conversation. That can alleviate a lot of disruption, a lot of dysfunction. Just knowing if somebody is coming from their core, we're talking about the man and the woman. The woman at her core, she is an emotional vessel. She's going to process things emotionally. And the man is going to process things logically. So coming from that core, you have to know that surface things will change. So the woman may say on the surface that she just wants to go out to dinner. But she's very interested in this young man. So at her core, she wants that healthy, viable relationship. The young man, at his surface, He may just say, well, I want to take you out to dinner. Let's go have a good time. Let's enjoy each other's company. But then at his core, he may just be really looking for sex up front. So in the core and surface relationships, you have to understand who you're talking to. You have a representative. We all have different faces. We have different phases. We have different modes. So a lot of times when we're talking to people, we're giving them a surface point of view from who we are. Another example of a good surface perspective is if you go up to somebody and you say, hey, how you doing? And they may say, oh, I'm doing just fine. Well, they may just left the hospital. They could have lost a parent. They could be going through some chemo and have cancer. But we say the surface things because those conversations are coming from the surface. So you need to understand that when you're talking to somebody, you may be getting a surface conversation, but if you need the core, you need to make sure that you're clear and you know that's just the surface conversation. So the core conversation is going to be, of course, different from the surface conversation. So this is the first video from 2 parts. So we wanted to put this out there. We want you to take this. We want you to try this. We want you to test this. This is the Clipperdome Chronicles. We want you to like, subscribe, and share. Leave us a comment. Thank you.